right, we're gonna open up the Water and Sewer Commissioners meeting, September 4th at 7:15. Present is Keith Waniaz, Colin here, Bob Sullivan, myself, Bob Josie. Did anybody, did you read the minutes of the meeting? I forgot. Didn't have a chance.
I think we got three,
What do we have, two?
three, four of them.
Four of them? June 5th, June 7th, July 3rd. There's three of them, right?
Four of them.
Where am I missing one here? Oh, all right, June 15th.
June 5th, 7th.
All right.
Discussion.
We should try to redo that.
People might enjoy that.
Background music while we're reading.
A little hard rock. Are we happy with Hunts Pond discussion here? Do you want to get into any more depth on that?
Yeah, nothing else came of it yet.
Okay.
Nothing new on it. Is there anything more on Glen Street, or is that
And what?
on Glen Street?
2 minutes, so.
Haven't heard anything since that meeting.
Ich habe auch so neurotische Züge. Ich mag das auch gar nicht, wenn sich irgendwas verändert.
Did we want to get into any discussion, any length on that, on the citizen, that wasn't Citizens Forum, was it?
Well, that's what we put it under when somebody comes in.
What was that on? Colin?
Citizens Forum? Oh, that's what we put under the classifiers,
Yeah, I think we'll just, when anybody comes in.
I thought it was an agenda, usually, I was thinking it was, I thought Citizens Forum is somebody that you don't,
Yeah, people out of the,
that are not on the agenda, they come into a meeting.
right. People came in and just wanted to
Discuss.
voice their opinion
Yeah.
and stuff.
Did we want to get, is there any discussion, any further discussion? This just says who was here at the meeting.
But which one?
North Village, it was Dennis.
I got North Village here on the agenda, so
Yeah,
we'll discuss that more, but
yeah.
do you mean you want more,
Did you want to have any length of,
more information in the
on that,
meeting
yeah?
minutes?
Is there anything I'm trying to just
Yeah, I think we probably wanna,
hold that, to make sure that gets,
yeah. A little
Yeah, it says
something,
that there was a discussion of the North Village booster station or another solution. Says what the discussion was.
I know I think we may need to get into this some more, in case if there's any clarification on some of the issues that were discussed. They can make
I
it.
think we're gonna go into that later on tonight, aren't we?
No, I know what Colin's saying. He doesn't wanna approve the meeting minutes without having a little more detail in them.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Thought we tried to avoid like he said, she said type stuffs, like,
Yeah,
think-
but there's certain,
I think on-
certain things that you
yeah.
want some substance in there, just
Yeah.
because if it comes back and they say, all right, well, what was discussed at the meeting?
That's on June 7th one.
June 7th.
Yeah, there's really nothing in there that was discussed. You wanna hold off on that one, Colin?
Yeah, I think
You
it'd
got
probably be a
something
good
else,
idea.
a little more in there?
Yep. You good with everything else?
I'm good. Make a motion that we accept the meeting minutes of June 5th, 2018, June 15th, 2018, and July 3rd, 2018.
Second.
You're holding out on July 7th. June
Yeah,
7th,
just
right?
as some clarification on the June
Okay.
7th one.
Yep, all in favor?
Aye.
Assistant Manager Water and Sewer Reports.
Alright, sewer, for the month of August, we had 5.4 inches of rain. Cindy Grove hauled off 67,400 gallons. A flow of 4.156 million gallons for an average of 134,000 a day. Wasted 48,000 gallons for an average of 1,560 a day. Used 725 gallons of alum, 752 gallons of sodium hydroxide, 309 kilowatt hours of electricity, and the river average was 53.502 CFS. It's the first August in a long time we've met the requirement.
All that
Yeah.
rain.
What's the requirement? 23?
16.
16 cubic feet.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
16 or 18?
16.
Okay.
EPA study 38 has ended. The SBR number 1 tank was put back online. SBR number 3 is being taken down for maintenance. We passed the third quarter toxicity testing, had an alum delivery, and we took the mixer out of the SBR number 3 for maintenance while we're doing that tank.
One of those we're gonna be stopped using pretty soon.
What do you mean?
One of these chemicals that we're using.
No,
Which one's only seasonal? I thought.
no, it's UV.
Oh, the UV is seasonal. I'm sorry. Okay.
I don't have a water report yet, 'cause I just finished putting all the numbers together, because
You can get into the water.
it's the day after a holiday, and that's what I told Josie earlier before the meeting. You guys gotta have like the second Wednesday of the month or something. Give me time to put these things together.
Okay. North Village discussion. You got something to tell us on that update?
Did you come to the last meeting at all? I
No,
don't think you made it to the
No.
last meeting.
no.
So they were just discussing, the cistern, cause the engineers said that they couldn't design a pump station that wouldn't work, so it was either upgrade the lines or, you couldn't do the booster station. So the fire chief said that if they put a cistern in, that would meet his requirements, so that took out the need for a booster station or the increase in the line going up North Street.
I was at that meeting.
Right.
Yeah.
So then, I didn't know if we discussed that after.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, probably not. You're probably right.
Yeah, so we had another meeting, Colin didn't attend the second one, where we could kind of discuss the details of it. It came down to, at that original meeting, we had discussed maybe 2 cisterns instead of 1, and depending on the location. So at the last one, I think they basically agreed that they could get away with 1 cistern, 30,000 gallons, kind of right next to or behind where the wastewater pump station is up there. So at the end of phase 1. And then they would have to provide the fire department, they have to outfit the trucks with valves for 5-inch hose and get 4,000 feet of 5-inch hose for the fire department to be able to use the cistern with a pumper truck and to pump enough gallons.
You're gonna supply, is it you say supply 500 feet of hose?
4,000 feet of hose.
4,000 feet of hose?
Yeah, because they need to change over all the trucks in order to do that. In order to be able to use any one of the trucks up there for laying out the hose, they would need to fight a fire at any point in that subdivision. So they had 4 trucks fitting 1,000 feet of hose for each one. And then they had to upgrade the valves on the truck to be able to
They're gonna
use
do that?
hose. North Villages, yeah. Or at least that was in the last discussion. Stantec was there. Stantec was gonna do the design for the cistern, or at least review and approve the design. So Stantec came in with a proposal. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but they came in for a proposal to review and comment on the cistern design, and then another price to do the inspection and oversight of the construction of it. I want to say it was 25 to 30,000, somewhere in that range. They agreed to the design review, and then questioned why it would cost so much to do the oversight of the construction. So I know we haven't seen whether or not they're moving forward with that. I just got an email from Bill a little while ago saying, he sent it to the planning board and everything, saying, here's what it was. We haven't heard back from the contractor as to whether or not they wanna proceed with it, so. So that's where we stand with
But it's
North
the
Village.
zoning board, right? Not the,
Yeah.
the zoning board. So how about did you discuss the as-built on phase instead of at the end of the project?
Yeah, I told them that I needed as-built. I discussed that with Bill and at that meeting.
Okay.
Um,
I know the MAU stated at the end of the project, completion of everything, which
Right.
we discussed it.
yeah.
Be better with all the changes and doing the type of system they're talking
Right.
about. Get something in phases.
Yep. Just so we have as-built in case they don't finish the project. And then trying to create as-built after the fact is nearly impossible.
You're gonna do it in phases as they go?
That's what we requested, it's
Yeah.
up to the zoning board to get that put into the changes.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So that's pretty much it on that.
yep.
And they were scheduled to come in tonight, but they canceled or no?
I don't think they were scheduled, I think this
Okay,
was,
just
this was
discussion.
just to
Okay,
discuss it
all right,
between us,
Yeah.
Okay.
just as to.
Now,
that was-
cost-wise, I mean, you know, what's the difference cost between running a new main up there and all the work?
Oh, I'm sure this is a lot cheaper.
Yeah,
Still gonna be a lot cheaper with the system?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, cistern's just throwing a tank in the ground and
Yeah.
a little bit of piping. And like I said, the hose and stuff. I mean, they may be, you know, even if it's $200,000, it's still, you know, running the line was 1.6 or 1.8 million,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Big difference.
Hmm.
Alright, so that's all I got on the North Village. Anybody else have anything? The bridge project, and that came in under the original estimate on that cost. So that was completed. The line was put in, everything's up and running with that. So we're ready to go off of either side of that if we wanna continue the upgrade of that line.
And that's something we're gonna work on doing the rest of that line, or?
Yeah, I mean, we gotta discuss it.
Yeah.
I haven't put together kinda all my numbers, but something that, at some point, I wanted to discuss what you guys thought on doing some of these lines. I mean, you look at 1.6 or 1.8 million just to do the line from Main Street up to North Village. And then, you know, we got this one down here, we got this one, that one,
section.
that one. And we also gotta look at Main Street at some time.
No, Main Street's done.
No, I mean from
Oh, Main-
Franklin up to
Oh, heading the
the
other way.
gazebo, heading that way.
Yeah,
You know, theoretically, we would need to go to like Camp Meeting, cause they
Yeah.
got new ductile iron from Camp Meeting down, but it's still cast from there, this way.
yeah.
So I
I
mean,
think we should consider doing this North Street, don't you?
Well, I think, my thought is Gilboa first, I mean,
Yeah.
that's a
Gilboa's-
private,
yeah.
yeah.
Or
That's fine.
north up to Maine. that
Based
would
on
be-
the information we've got
Right.
from, with economic development, Board of Selectmen.
Going down Gilboa, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, starting from the monument, coming down, going down.
Oh, that's what I'm saying, do
Right.
this
So
whole,
this,
Yeah,
all in
this
one.
end of North Street and then down Gilboa before we
Yeah.
go up North Street. So one of the things that I was thinking about or contemplating, and you know, it'll take a little more thought and time, but looking at trying to hire like a 3-man crew, excavator operator, dump truck operator, and someone that can put pipe together. You know, if we hired 3 people, and plus we got, you know, 2 people and myself that can help here and there. But if we hired like 3 people full-time that are just dedicated to putting in water mains, we'll do it way cheaper than if we contract it out.
Yeah, yeah, it would be.
You know, and if we,
Yeah, but would they be on a payroll, or would we just
Yeah.
hire?
that's what I would wanna do, is put them on the payroll, but do a, kinda like a contract type thing. It's a 3 or a 5-year period, and we can probably do all the mains that we need to do for what it would cost us to do one of them. So,
yeah,
but
Yeah,
if
I
we just
think
set it
it's-
up and said, alright,
run the,
you know, here's a 3 or a 5-year position, and you know, it's not a permanent
Mhm.
position.
Can we do something like that without going through the bidding process?
Well, yeah, if we're
we're
doing
doing it
it
in-house, yeah, there's.
we're doing work, you know, there's no bid process or anything.
Yeah.
The only bid
You'd have
would
to
be,
find out what it's gonna cost for insurance for these guys and stuff like that, but
Yeah,
it might outweigh prevailing wage.
no way.
It's something to look at, I never thought of
Yeah,
that.
I just think it'd be far cheaper, and if we had other things going on or something happening, you know, we'd have, you know, that many extra hands to work on things.
How do you think that would work? Oh, we'd have to have one full-time guy just to lay the pipe in.
Well, like I said, probably, I mean, I looked at probably at least like a 3-man crew, and then, you know, me and some of the guys here can also assist at points.
Yeah, what about the backhoe and stuff like that, dump
Yeah.
truck?
Yeah, we'd have to, you know, we look at that stuff, I'm still saying it'll come out cheaper,
Yeah,
you know.
Well, if we hired a guy to run a machine, if we hired a machine, I don't think that, we could hire an outside guy just to run.
you mean like rent a machine?
No, I'd probably buy a machine. You buy a machine, you figure it for this period, and then you sell it. I mean, what's the depreciation gonna be, and,
Can a town do that? Can a municipality do that?
you know,
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things to look at, but I like the concept.
Yeah.
yeah,
Just thinking
like I
outside
said,
the
I just,
real good
I haven't put
concept.
anything together for you yet, I just
Yeah.
wanna throw it out there for you guys to think about it.
Well, it's definitely something to look at.
Another thing we talked about on the topic of projects, remember we talked about like how we can get these grants and how the funding and all that jazz. I think we should put something together for that project, get it approved at town meeting with the condition that we get a matching grant.
Yeah,
I think,
I gotta-
the research I found, it seems to be, what we were talking about was you have to be, a lot of these projects that are getting grants, they're already approved at town meeting. So if we do all this stuff and there's condition at that town meeting, say that it's only gonna be done
If we got,
if we get a matching grant
Right.
from whatever, waterworks or
in that way,
state.
that step is done.
Right, cause we're losing out on grants because of the fact that a lot of these projects aren't ready, they're not engineered, they're not shovel ready.
I mean, even like on the booster station, you know, they came in and said, yeah, you're approved for the project, but then we said, oh, well, it's not approved at town meeting. They said, well, you only got like 6 weeks to get it approved,
Yeah.
and we weren't having a town meeting, we couldn't even pull a town meeting together to get it approved. So we lose out on those because we don't have these projects approved at town meeting.
And nothing says we have to do them, I mean,
Right.
at least we have
Right.
them approved.
Have it approved and ready to go.
With that, I mean, we gotta have some capital outlay initially on the engineering and things like that, but, I think that's the only way in order to get these grants.
And we have to have it approved by the town, we have to have the engineering done probably.
You would have to have I believe you would have to have a lot of the,
Yeah,
maybe not the full-blown engineering, but pretty much shovel ready.
right.
Now, is
Yeah,
that
with-
something we can take out of our budget?
For
Not our
what?
budget, but I mean,
For,
for engineering.
well, yeah, it depends on what it is. I mean, it costs you a ton of money to have everything engineered for the town, but.
Yeah, I think we just did
I mean,
it,
we gotta pick certain ones that,
prioritize the
Oh, yeah,
project. I mean, we
yeah.
have
you
the,
know,
But I'm saying we have funding to be able to do that.
for the
Without,
engineering, I mean,
Retained
you can take
earnings.
some out of retained earnings if
Yeah.
you have to, but.
So I mean, we can do that, take it out of retained earnings. Retained earnings.
I mean, it could probably even come out of system development in some of those if you're,
Right.
that's the whole theory of it.
I mean, realistically, if you think about it, if we get a matching grant, so, say you got, $1 million, you get a matching grant, you get $500,000 coming in, and then that would be divided, the other 50% that's left would be taxpayer, uses at a, whatever ratio we
Yeah.
come up with on that, 70-30 or 50-50. So basically it cuts it way down again, so
Right.
it's getting sliced pretty well, to make it affordable. And then, these projects to get done, and then now we wanna make sure that we're in shape for, I mean, I think they said 2 years up here at Pines before they're
Couple of years.
ready up there. And that doesn't necessarily mean that that's gonna be the first place to go either, but that's where
Right,
they're
right.
focusing on that, and probably will be, but, all the landowners, that they have to agree to a lot of things too as well.
Yeah, and there's problems with that line anyway.
Right, and that has to be.
There is, that
right,
line needs to
right.
be done. we
We've
know
got
that.
problems with that line anyway. One hydrant down, the line's a mess. What's
Yeah.
it, two different sizes,
Yeah.
3 different kinds of pipe, something.
Yeah, it's a mess.
Yeah. So,
I'd like to explore that, if we could.
But again, that would, I don't know what we figured for that. 400 or 500,000, I think.
I forget what the number was on that.
It's probably higher than that now.
Yeah.
To do down there, but I still say that if you hired a crew, they can have that done in no time. And it would just be materials.
Yeah. I'm buying equipment, and that can get you in trouble, I think, I'm not so keen on the equipment expense. But manpower, I agree with, and I think it's cheaper to subcontract the equipment to dig, hire somebody to come in and run and bring their equipment and run the machine and do, versus hiring somebody to do the equipment and buy the equipment themselves.
Well, it depends on what you're looking at.
Yeah, but when you hire somebody like that, you have to go prevailing wage though, right?
Unless it's a single person,
Right.
owner operator has no employees. So you're very limited there.
Yeah. Well, look into all those aspects and see what we come up with. Sounds like a good idea.
Uh-huh.
But, even if you looked at it and said, you know, the size machine you wanna put in main with is probably a little bigger than the size machine we'd want to do curb stops or fix,
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
fix a small leak or something. So if you looked at it and said, alright, you buy a machine to do all this work and then trade it in towards a small machine, you know, then you end up at the end with the machine you want to do all the day-to-day stuff we would need it for, and then, you know, I guess you'd have to look at it and decide.
Yeah, you have to weigh up the whole.
Yeah. I mean, I can probably come up with some ballpark numbers on what it would cost you to pay someone to come in and do all the excavation, but that's the most expensive part, so.
Is this something you wanna have for the fall town meeting?
No, I'd probably look more for spring,
Yeah.
because you don't wanna hire people in the winter when you're not really
Yeah.
doing work.
No, but
so-
even like Colin was saying with matching grants and
No, with the
stuff.
matching grants, have that stuff ready, not,
We'll never be ready to have all
Yeah.
that stuff in for fall town meeting,
No.
that's,
They never meet it now.
yeah, because that's.
And
not-
when do they give the,
Because you'd have to do some engineering and stuff too,
is it
so.
is it the annual town meetings when the funding usually is discussed?
well,
On like for grants and things like that, or could that be done
well,
at
we
any
can
town
do it
meeting?
at any town meeting.
Okay. I didn't know if the state does it or the waterworks, Mass Waterworks.
No, I
one of
mean,
those.
last time they did it, well, we would've had to do it in the spring, but it was close to fall when,
Yeah, I guess, yeah, I can see what Keith's going with that, is usually
Oh, I know, try to
fiscal
have it.
year is July 1, so they get money at fall town meeting versus waiting
Yeah.
that we're at the end of the year,
Yeah.
nobody's got any money.
Yeah, and versus if you have it approved at the fall, then in the spring you could start.
Ready to go,
Yeah.
but I think that would be, I'm not sure the timeline would work on that.
I mean, I suppose we got an updated proposal or estimated cost from the engineers. If you put it in at that price for this line and Gilboa Street, you know, look at those two projects. Try to get them approved at town meeting and, you know, I mean, that's pretty much done.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, I'd want new estimates on all the other ones though. But, so those two, I suppose you probably could push to get in the fall town meeting.
Mhm.
I'm not sure when the warrant closes or anything for that, but
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't that be something that Stantec could do quick? Because I mean, I guess that's not already engineered, just because it's in the.
it's not engineered, they just gave us an estimate
Estimate.
on the cost, and that's really all we
That
need.
actually included engineering, so maybe we could still move forward with something like that.
That's what I mean,
And they
we
do that
could
master-
probably come up, we
Yeah.
got these three lines, they
Yeah.
gave us an.
For our
updated
master plan, I mean,
engineering
can't they just do it in like 2019 numbers?
the- That's what we used originally, and those
Yeah.
numbers were way off.
Yeah,
You
well,
Oh, yeah.
I think it was-
know, they're 10-year-old numbers, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
they're way off from.
No,
we-
that's what I'm saying, if we asked, what's her name, Gina, if we talked to Gina and said, just, hey, these two plans that are in our master plan, what's the price of that now?
Yeah,
You know?
It should be able to come up with that without too much trouble, I would think.
Yeah, we have a.
like I said, I mean, they already
They
gave us. an
already
up-
gave us an
They gave an
estimate.
We have an
updated
updated
estimate for these three that we would look at doing,
How long ago was that though now? Couple of years,
just a couple months ago.
Oh, I didn't know we got those
Yeah,
numbers.
yeah.
Yeah, we got updated numbers, so we got
That's
numbers
why it
to
was
work with
1 it was
for North
1.8.
Village.
Oh, yeah.
From there all the way down up north versus,
No, that was just those two was 1.8, that wasn't.
that wasn't
this one.
including this, that's right, and that was originally about 1.2. Was that one?
For this one down here?
No, from.
Oh, yeah, originally that was like 1.2, it was like 1.8.
From there all the way up north,
Yeah.
yeah.
I didn't realize we had that number.
I mean, if we can work on something like that, I think it'd be a good idea.
Yeah, at least get it approved at town meeting.
Right,
You know, whether we proceed or not is another story, but.
right. Subject
You
to,
said-
subject to the matching,
Yeah,
right?
we put the stipulation
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as that stipulation is in, if we don't get a matching grant, we don't do it. No.
I mean,
I think we've done that before, didn't we? We ever do something like that before? Or?
not since I've been here.
No?
No, I think we had it, like with the plant that was done, it was all ready to go, so.
Oh, the plant, yeah,
So
okay.
we did get the grant, it was the SRF money, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And then the other thing too is I mean, you don't wanna kinda snooze too much on it because you know, if anything ever got going hot and heavy
Yeah.
at that site, you know, you don't want them to tap the Whitensville site.
Right.
You know, so you don't wanna lose that opportunity.
that will also
Send
be,
the sewer that way and the water this way.
Yeah,
but that'd be the other,
Definitely, because I mean, if something does happen within the next couple of years down there.
well, you don't know what could end up in there. I mean, it could be something with heavy usage that would be beneficial to the, you know.
and that's the other thing about putting in the stipulation though. If you put the stipulation that it's a grant based, and then we don't get a grant, but that still needs to be done, you have to go back to town meeting. So I mean, we make the decision as to whether or not we proceed, so. If you just get it approved at town meeting and then it's just a matter of, we don't pull the trigger until,
Yeah, everything falls in line.
right. So I don't
We
know
all
if
in
you want the
agreement?
stipulation in the town meeting thing, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, the other thing too is we should look at is extending that line down Davis. Going down Davis Street, because there's a lot of
The sewer or the water?
the water initially, but that's all gravity. Even sewer's all gravity coming
Sewer,
back.
you can go quite a ways up, I've gone up there a couple times
Yeah.
trying to figure, there's a couple spots you'd have to go kinda deep in order to get further, but
But you can
you
get
can make it pretty much to, is that Maple? Monroe?
Monroe.
Yeah.
Yeah, Monroe's all,
Pretty much from Monroe down would be easy enough for gravity. It's just a matter of if you wanna look at it to see how deep you need to go in order to get further. Cause
Yeah.
you need to figure that in before you get to there.
So you start at 40 feet down and end at 4 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, you have a
Is
little
that-
hill there, right where it peaks about Monroe, you're
Yeah.
going deep.
Is all that project gonna tie in? 2 hours over here?
No, sewer?
The sewer?
None of that.
They're going all septic? Oh.
they would need a pump station at the bottom of
Well-
Charles Street, right? And the line,
Which one do you mean? The Pine development? They could have went,
why can't we do a forced main? Why can't they do a forced main on that?
well, they could. But they could have went gravity over to the Davis Street pump station.
Oh, yeah,
One little
yeah.
dip, I think, that might have been close to causing a problem. I'm not positive, but we didn't look at the elevations that good. But they were getting a hard time crossing the river from conservation. And whatever they wanted them to do was gonna end up costing more because, I mean, obviously it was good septic sand over there.
Yeah, it's
because-
all in-ground
so-
system, it's all nice.
And they have all the equipment, they know what they're doing, so it's not gonna cost them anything to put septics in.
Right.
So it turned out to be cheaper for them to just put septics in than to try to run sewer. It would have been nice if they went sewer.
Yeah.
Cause then you could have did this whole end of Maple, Reading Landing,
Mm.
all of Northwest Maine, Northeast Maine,
Yeah,
coming down to there. That could have all gravity down and right through and over to the Davis Street station. But like I said, it turned into more of an expense. It was cheaper for them to just go septics.
But they are doing water anyway, right?
They are doing water and they're looping the water. So it'll come Northeast Maine over to Davis.
yeah.
And I had them, instead of just doing a tap and sleeve, I told them 3-way valves so that you're able to shut it off. You know, if you have a problem anywhere in there, you can shut it one way and open it the other way.
Yeah.
You know, redirect flows so that you're
Yeah.
not stuck.
Yeah.
So they're looking at doing that tie-in in Northeast Maine next week. So we'll look at that.
Yeah. Good.
And we all in agreement, to have Bob start working on that? And get it ready for the meeting?
Yeah, if possible. I mean, if we could get anything for fall, it'd be great.
Yeah.
If we can't, at least for spring. The annual.
Sounds like a good idea, I'll get working on it and at least get that part of it done.
Yeah, so I mean, there's two of the catch-22 there is, you know, trying to put it forward to get it at town meeting. Typically, if we say we're gonna pay for it, it goes through.
Right.
If it's a split, it usually gets declined. So how am I trying to present that?
Well, actually, it should be a split, because it's mainly for fire protection.
I think, I mean, those are,
Well, it's a couple things, it's fire protection and it's economic development.
Right.
so it's benefit.
Well, we all understand and agree that it's.
And we are gonna generate revenue, so
Yeah.
Right,
it's gonna be,
right.
it's gonna be a balance.
But we can't put all that on just the users either.
No. I mean, that's why I think it's gonna go, if we get a matching grant, 50% matching grant, now we're down, you know, obviously do either the
Right, so
70-30
that's
or
just-
50-50.
It's
on
50/50, it's 25% for each of us.
Right.
From what the original cost
Yeah.
was, but,
And it should be at least like that, you know.
So still, I think we'll be in good shape.
yeah, so maybe we can present it that way, but, like I said, you're
Yeah.
rolling the dice a little bit, just because, like I said.
Well, I think you gotta work that out before the meeting, you have to be clear with that,
Oh, yeah.
set the meeting, with the selectmen, talk to them about it.
Yeah.
You know, have, and
Now get their input, definitely.
see what their thought is, and.
Yeah, and I mean, if we can work it out with
And what historically.
John at the same time,
Yeah,
because that road needs to be paved.
Well, that's the thing too, is if they ever pave that stretch in front of Hayward Landing, it's kinda crazy, cause we'll be digging it up.
Right, well, any of this, I mean, Gilboa Street's horrible too.
right.
That
We'd have to
stretch.
see what John, with the chapter 90, or what is 90 or 70, what's the, whatever that chapter is for the
90,
road work, 90. And then see what he has for paving, if we can work something
Right, well,
out with that,
I've-
tied with that.
I stop up there and talk to him like once a week and on my way in, I stop there first and we discuss things.
Yeah,
And that's some of the stuff that we started looking at was, you know, let's try to put together, you know, last time I met, well, actually he came down here last time, but, he was looking at putting together like a 5-year plan. So you can't do like, Manchog Road where you tell me the week before that they're gonna pave it. Because there's like 3 services over there that are iron services.
yeah.
Really should have changed those services, at
Yeah.
least main to curb.
That was the state telling him 3 days
Exactly.
before.
Right, yeah.
It wasn't John, they
Oh, I
came
know.
down and told John.
I know it wasn't John.
Yeah,
But,
Yeah.
you know, something like that, if we knew ahead of time,
Yeah.
we should have changed at least the 3 iron services that we know of over there.
Yeah.
And get those done, so much less chance of us digging up
Yeah.
that road. But I also would have liked to change that main in Gilboa or Manchog from the bridge up to that little common, that little square that,
yeah.
whatever the name of that one is. But up to Gilboa.
So that's split before, right?
Yeah, we had a break over there. Well, that's
Yeah.
2 breaks in the last year.
Yeah, on that stretch.
So, you know, it's all old cast iron pipe, you know, 6-inch in that stretch. It would have been nice to change that to 8 and get it done before you had a problem.
Yep.
Well, if we dig up North Street, that end of North Street, paving over our trench will smooth out that road.
Yeah,
That stretch is bad.
yeah, that's bad for that.
But that's where I'm saying, we wanna try to coordinate it all together and John can contribute some to get the paving done.
We don't wanna be too organized.
Yeah, so. Anyway, that was
Yeah,
my thoughts on that, and then, like I said, we'll see. I still think that we can do it cheaper if we hired people.
I think so too, but I think once you start getting into buying equipment and all the other stuff,
Yeah,
then
it's gonna
your savings goes out the window,
Right. Don't get too
you know, to a
involved.
certain degree.
Depends on how much you're doing.
Yeah, and yeah, we could obviously look at the numbers, but I think it's still cheaper hiring somebody to run equipment operator and
Yeah.
then they're not on the payroll, they're not on the insurance, then when the days that you're not doing it, you're not looking for things to do
Right.
for them. So.
But it has to be in other words, if you hire somebody without prevailing wage, it has to be a single guy working by himself.
Sole proprietorship, just one person, no,
Just no help.
helpers, right.
Man, you really got that, huh?
They're out there.
Yep. I mean, there's probably nothing that says you can't hire, if there is somebody that is in that situation, that says you can't hire. If they got a guy that works with them, something says we can't hire them.
Well, yeah, I mean, we would still need to hire a couple people just to lay the pipe and.
Well, yeah, you need a guy and a laborer. But if you timed it right, you could get some help. Not to lay the pipe, but for the laborer,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
I
Look
did
at.
one summer,
Did you?
southeast Maine.
Oh, they did the water line going down,
Yeah.
coming through.
And then there was a leak and we redug the same section 6 times and found out that the leak was at the common.
That's funny.
All right. What do you got for the end of the year discussion, Bob?
Yeah, I don't know how much you wanna get into that, but I haven't had time to go through it too much, I mean, I went through everything, but, this is all the end of the year stuff.
The only thing I'd like to see end of the year is our, what the total revenues,
Yeah, I know what you
Yeah.
want.
our total
Yeah.
revenues, what we had,
It
and.
was very close this year.
Upside
You just
down.
turned it
Oh,
upside
I thought
down.
you- I was looking at, that was a staple up there, that was your signature.
Better go
So
to
this-
Walmart and get
This
new
is all that
glasses.
went back to retained earnings, so that was,
175.
we only had that much left over in the budget. So it was a very tight year,
That was.
so good thing I didn't replace Dave yet.
So could we get a breakdown of the whole,
Yeah.
what we have, and
I got everything here, and we put the, let's put the revenue report in here. Yeah, so here's the revenue report in here.
so there's a revenue report,
Yeah.
what we collected and what we spent, and it's very close,
Yeah.
12,000,
Yeah.
which is,
1%.
Yeah. what was it that, was there anything that substantially was higher than we had budgeted, that accounted for, the original budget?
I gotta look at the overall budget. They have those with me.
Only reason why I'm thinking of is because we had usually budgeted for 50,000 to go back into our retained
Right.
earnings for
And what was
capital.
left?
12,000,
That's
a
it?
little over 12,000.
Well, the revenues weren't as high as we anticipated, that was the main
That was the,
driver there. You know, we came,
The revenue was down?
yeah, from what we estimated.
this is a combined, right?
Yeah.
Combined, okay.
Yeah.
So do we have a one for water and
So-
one for sewer separate so we can see where,
So
which
public,
one is,
well, not for revenue. Here's, because the DOR doesn't separate them,
mhm.
so that's why none of the end of year stuff is gonna show the separation there. So maybe this might be what you're looking for. Yeah, so here's the revenue report, here's sewer. Here's sewer revenue report. So this one should be- That was just sewer, right? There's their water there too.
Let's see, water sewer enterprise, water sewer enterprise. Total water enterprise, this is water, this is sewer too. It looks like.
There's the receivables activity, that's cool too.
I'm not gonna go through it just wanna go through it and,
You know, that's what you wanted to see.
yeah, I just wanted to go through and kinda see where we were. It's nice, cause basically, we gotta make sure the water's solvent and the sewer's solvent, so
Right.
we can't have one subsidizing the other, so we wanna make sure that we're in
Mm.
good financial condition.
Yeah, so I mean, I think we also need to, you know, look at some of that stuff. I've said it to,
So that's combined water and sewer we have.
that's what was left over at the end of the year that
Between
went
both?
back to retained earnings total out of the whole budget. Which is roughly 1%. So like I said, it was a very tight budget.
Yeah, well, usually not that tight.
That's why I said I have to go through the
Right.
expenditures and see what was exceeded and what was, you know, decreased, what was increased.
And when do we do for rates today?
You can do rate study anytime you want. Doug says every year, so. You know.
When was the last time we did one? Was it 16?
15?
I
2 years?
think
3 years ago?
I think it was 16.
16?
Yeah, I think it was 2.
Alright, I'm curious, I just want to take a peek, have a look at this and kind of go through and dissect it a little bit.
Yep. Well, let me make copies of it for you.
Yeah.
So how come our revenue was so far off? Any idea, or?
Just low usage. It was a wet year.
When the rates go up, everybody conserves.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What is-
I know it.
People
Yeah.
conserving more.
Yeah, they went up about 2 years ago, so. The water is relatively inexpensive, it's the wastewater that's real expensive,
Yeah, that's what kills us.
yeah.
And what's the retained earnings? I was trying to translate this report, but once again, Gene's report's Greek
It's-
to me.
The total, what we have in retained earnings,
Yeah, that's what he's looking for.
nothing's been certified yet, I'm assuming.
Right, none of
Yeah.
it's certified until November.
Yeah,
I have to find which one it is.
Is it this number?
So I've got the color coded.
Is it that number?
No. No, we don't want that. It's a little confusing because it's kind of a combination of all these. So this is one of them. So this is the undesignated. So that's this
right,
number.
that's free cash,
Right, essentially.
yeah, this is reserved for debt.
Reserved for expenditures. So this is stuff that we already
Yeah, reserved for- yep.
have tied up. So we've already accounted for that money, so,
Mhm.
so that's pulled out of what we have. Encumbrances,
Reserved for debt.
this is debt. So this is also essentially part of that, and so is this. So I mean, this is what they're saying the actual number is. But that's, you can't really
Right,
say that
right.
because you gotta subtract
Pull
the
off.
reserve for debt,
And reserved for expenditures.
reserve for encumbrances, and reserve for expenses. So you pull those three out, but this and this, I mean, you guys could vote to do away with this designation,
Right,
and that may happen without you guys doing it anyway, because we have a new person at DOR, and DOR doesn't actually recognize these.
Oh, yeah.
This is a gene thing. So this may end up going back into this, so it'd be this number
Plus
and
those
these
two.
two numbers. So you guys could technically vote to do away with this reserve for
right.
account, and then that leaves it more to, you know, up to your discretion to.
I think.
I understand
Didn't-
the
didn't
concept, and it's a good theory.
Didn't the board originally vote, that was before my time, that we have reserved for sewer development and reserved for water development? So a
Yeah.
portion of the fees went towards making sure that money was allocated,
Separate.
so it didn't get tied up into being taken out of retained earnings for something
Right,
else.
so you
We
don't
wanted to
end
put
up-
it back towards what
Yeah.
you know, to get the system developed.
Yeah, it was allocated for water and sewer separately.
Right.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I understood it as anyway.
You're right, that's what.
Yeah, I
But
understand
now
the
the
theory
DOR
behind it.
doesn't.
Yeah, but if the DOI says you can't do it, obviously, then you can't do it.
Right.
But
I just wanna let you know,
No, yeah. I'm
technically
confused on
that's
this.
the numbers.
We can't keep it separated?
because the way I understand it is that this is free
Retained
cash,
earnings.
Right.
retained earnings. Okay, this is reserved for
Reserve
expenditures, so you can't. That's already allocated for something.
Right.
That's reserved for encumbrances. That's already allocated.
Mhm.
It's reserved for debt, so that's already
Right.
allocated. So the numbers that we would be looking at would be this one, and this
Yeah.
one, and that's total of those three. That gives out free cash.
Okay.
But these two are in a separate account. One is reserved for sewer
Right.
development, and one is reserved for water development.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, it's those three numbers added together, and those are already accounted for.
Right. Okay.
So, but that being said about these accounts, I think you guys need to, I think I would, before I look at raising rates, so to say, I mean, a lot of the expenses and stuff that we're doing are things that are going towards kind of system development that we pulled from retained earnings. I mean, we pulled for booster station, we pulled for the land. I mean, those are
Right.
kind of system development type things. So it kind of depleted our numbers, but we didn't take loans, so. I mean, I would think that you might want to revisit what the fees are for the connection fees, both for water and sewer. Just so you know, they start developing these things and it's putting, you know, they put a big project up on North Street. So that's part of the reason why you need to look at redoing that line. So those connection fees you could take and put towards that project. If they do down here, you know, all those people that connect, I mean, yeah, we need to do it ahead of time, but you kinda wanna factor in that you want that to kinda pay to get the line where you needed to do that project. So, and if you look at any of the surrounding towns, I mean, I think I had a sheet out there, I think you might look at it, but, you know, I think we're way off on our fee structure on connection fees. And I think you need to, I think it was originally, the way it is now, it says it's like $2,500 up to 1 inch, and then it's another $500 per half inch or something like that, as you go up in size for the pipe.
Well, how are we compared to other towns price-wise?
Way low.
The source
I mean,
five, right?
do we have a sheet that we can hand somebody, like if they come in the door and say, what are
No.
your connection fees? I mean, can we compile that?
Well, that's why I said, I mean, we don't really have anything that's written.
No, I know, but
Into
can we
it, but-
compile that information? I mean, if we all know that the connection fee is 2,500 up to 1 inch and then another 500 after that, can we put that on an informational sheet?
There is,
Well, yeah,
I have seen the paper.
Right.
I've seen a cost
Yeah,
sheet
and I-
somewhere.
Something, somewhere.
I've been looking for it myself, but
I have
it's
seen
not
it.
on the sheets. I thought originally we had it when we had Doug in here one of those times,
I thought we did too.
and I can't find it. I asked him to send me all the stuff he had, and he didn't. It's not in any of that stuff.
Right, because
so-
we updated the hourly rate per man hour,
Right.
and cost per man in the truck.
Right, we
updated
also had
anything-
the
right,
fee for the size.
right.
Yeah. Those
Right, there
were-
was one, there was
And Doug can't find that?
2 inch, yeah. There
It
was,
wasn't part of his rate studies, because I pulled up all the ones from him,
I
and
mean, that's something that we should have. I mean,
And
at
I-
work, we've got a sheet that sits on all of our desks to as a quick reference to give a price on a
well,
job.
there's a bunch of things that, you know, some of those are why that, which isn't in here right now, because we never do anything with it, but the goals and objectives and the policies and procedures, those are all the things that I was talking about. We need to sit down and come up with a list of those, and actually, you guys vote on it, put it into place, and then,
right.
you know, we'll have it,
Well, this is just an informational sheet. I mean, why do we have to vote on that? Let's just get an informational sheet.
right, but where are you pulling those numbers from?
Well, whatever
I
they
don't know.
are. I mean, we've got people that are building stuff in town and we're charging them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But
So-
I don't know where those came from. I don't have anything that, a
I know, but
policy or,
if that's without
It
getting
should
into
be,
policy, just the rates.
We had a
Just-
vote
just
on
what
the
we-
fees.
Yeah, the
Just
fee-
what we're charging, so at
we
some
vote-
point in the last 100 years, we voted on what connection fees were and stuff, so we should
Yeah.
just have something
So-
that we can hand a contractor or something that we can
There
refer
is,
to
there is,
ourselves.
there is one, I've seen it, I've seen it.
It's gotta
I've
be,
seen
because
stuff too, but
we approved $2,500 for water and 5,000 for sewer.
Yeah, and like the man
who
hours and
approved
this,
that?
that.
When and where, and do you have any of the documents?
I've
That's
got
what
the-
I'm saying. We go through
That's
and
in one of
you,
these, one of these.
It's gotta be
cabinets,
one of the minutes of the
somewhere.
meetings, so.
Right, I would look through all the records that the previous manager, we
Well,
would have had.
that's why I'm saying,
That
and
might
one of the
have
reasons
said
I
that
said I
when
wanna
Tony
do this
was here.
because
Yeah, cause Tony would.
from when Tony was here to when I came here, there's a big gap and there's no records of anything.
Yeah, I know
Yeah, no,
that.
but we haven't changed any, when's the last time we changed a connection fee? Never. So I mean, just,
Well,
we
that
know
one
it's
time,
$2,500 for this and $5,000 for that, then let's just put that on a piece of paper and then move forward from there.
Yeah, they used to be 35, then they went to 5, I remember that. The connection fee for the sewer.
You know,
And the water, I'm not sure when the last time that was.
so,
And they are really, and the thing of it is we
I
asked,
remember 25 and 5.
yeah, that's what they are currently. But I thought it was 35 for a while. I may be wrong. But when we had the
Could
rate,
be.
we had the rate study, I asked when Doug was going through that, we were discussing it, and I point blank said, how are we on the fees? And he said, I wouldn't touch those at the meeting. He said,
Yeah.
I'd leave those alone. He said, those are adequate. And I thought,
That's what he says, but how is he justifying that to be an adequate number?
Yeah, but how long ago was that? When's the
years
first time
ago.
we had
Two
2
dogs?
years ago he brought that up.
2 years ago I
Oh,
asked.
2 years ago, it
Make
wasn't
sure.
from the
'Cause
previous.
that was part of the rate study, and I had asked him that. And I think just from being around different towns, we're on the low side,
I think you're way low.
Yeah,
so.
well, you figure an average septic system is what, 20 grand now?
Ugh.
And we're in charge of
Average?
5 to tie to sewer. And
You're probably the cheapest septic I've seen if you're at 20.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of variables in septic,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can't, it's hard to really put a number on it.
Right.
Right over here, you'd probably be cheaper because you got a good septic sand right there to begin with. But
Right, it's the,
if it's got to be engineered and you got to haul it in and build it up, it's
you got
Well, there's a
material.
lot of variables, but I think that's
it
what
could
we
be 20 to 80.
figured an average septic system would have cost, and then we set the fee by that. So at that time, probably the average septic system was 5 grand.
Yeah,
It's gotta be a long time ago that we did that.
yeah.
I can't remember.
It's probably been 5 as long as I've been on the board, so I've been on for 10
And
years.
before, I
10
think it's way
years.
before that, we set the fees.
Yeah, yeah, it was, yeah.
So I disagree with Doug. Those fees are adequate.
I assume that he did, checked with all the other, and when he did his rate study.
No.
Yeah, I don't think so. Because I started pulling fees. I started jumping on different town site and pulling their fees, and I think
what's the name of his company again?
Pioneer.
Yeah, the consulting. But I think we should look at it, I think we should, compile, have somebody, like he said, put something together on a sheet, get the rates currently what we have, at least have that, so we have a handout, somebody comes in, this is what it is.
Yeah.
And
It
then
might be on the
also,
website. I started putting some of the fees that I knew
Yeah.
on the
and
website.
also
Yeah.
let's look at the, put together of, what the surrounding areas are for tie-in fees, and then,
Well, yeah, that's the
come up
first
with
thing we should do
a
is find out
number.
what, where do we stand with area towns as far as
Yeah.
connection fees?
And I think that was one of the things, if I remember right, Doug was looking at comparable towns, and some of them were even in the western part of the state.
on some of our sides.
Yeah, of our size, with the rural systems, and that's a whole different ballgame. I mean, I know we're a different kind of town than Uxbridge and Whitensville are. I mean, that's obvious. So I get that, but nevertheless, you're doing a water connection fee in Adams is gonna be different than here,
Right,
I
yeah.
think.
Oh yeah. You're in a different region. You're,
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta go like this particular area, we can't go by
Yeah.
North Adams, I mean.
And I seem to remember that discussion as well.
Yeah, I do, I remember that
Yeah.
discussion too.
But I never seen anything as a comparison from Doug, showing any other towns or anything else.
No, he just gave us his study.
His opinion
his
was
study.
that your connection fees are fine.
I'm gonna look through, I have some old folders, I'm gonna look through and see if I have anything in there. They used to put a lot of different things.
Mm-hmm.
And,
I just think there's a lot of things that we need to update, policies and procedures. We don't have a decent spec book. I mean, we should have a spec saying that we only allow this material, these hydrants, ductile iron pipe.
don't give yourself too much work to do.
I thought we had that.
It needs to be done though, that's the thing.
I thought we had all that stuff, the specs.
The stuff that we have is that book that you had taken from me, the little one, and in there it even says that, if the water and sewer goes by you, you had the option for the first year, but after a year you're required to connect. None of that stuff's been upheld, which is why I keep saying we need to revisit it, come up with a new standard spec book, come up with policies and procedures, and then start moving forward with them and enforcing them.
Well, then we probably should compile what we have and then look and say, okay, this is what we want to do with this.
See what we gotta-
Right, right.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yes.
the last rules and stuff you had was like 1948 or something like that. So
Yeah, I
it
think
was
that little book was from '85.
Yeah, whatever it was.
But the,
it was old.
The other thing we could do is we could just, instead of trying to figure out what historical is, just recreate it. And when we vote, you vote to everything prior to this is null and void. Moving forward, this is the new,
Yeah.
That's the direction I was pushing with.
you know?
Yeah.
Instead of trying to look through all these file cabinets, which
Yeah.
half the stuff is missing, just come up with what
You know?
today's standards and,
I mean, not for
what
nothing,
makes
some of
sense.
these towns probably have it right on their website. We copy and paste.
Yeah.
They do. That's where I stole that from. So
Yeah, and another thing too, everything should be like electronic too, so we don't have to,
Right.
you gotta look it up. So
Yeah.
that it should be backed up somewhere. So.
yeah, we should have it right on our website, all the policies and even like the final read. I mean, we got to do something about it because we got people calling up and just because they're the same realtors or whatever, they call up and say, I need it today.
Yeah.
And it's just not physically possible sometimes.
Yeah.
There needs to be something that says, all right, yeah, you want a final read, yeah, it's a $50 fee, but it's a minimum 3-day requirement. You need to notify us at least 3 days in advance. And if you want it today, all right, it's not 50, it's 200. If you want it in less than 3 days, it's whatever. Because unfortunately, we bend over backwards to try to do whatever they need, and then they just expect it all the time. So, when they'll start giving us 3 days notice is when it costs them more money to do it.
All right, I'm sweating a million
Yeah.
miles.
I know.
Yeah, it's hot in here.
AC's down.
Well,
All right,
we don't want to blow the budget and run the air conditioning.
Yeah.
Alright, so
I think we
you're
got.
gonna work on
Now,
getting that on the town meeting
put
for,
together articles for the town meeting.
we should all get together or come up with ideas on, what we're gonna charge for fees and stuff, or do you have that all?
No, I haven't done enough research to pull together what all the surrounding towns. I just know the ones that I did pull up were a lot more than we charge.
Well, I guess those are the two priority things we have been going.
Yeah, I think we should get that done first. Get moving on that.
I mean, we got billing we're doing too now and stuff, so.
I don't think you can sign that one.
No.
Oh, Bob already signed it.
Yeah.
I thought you signed that. I was like,
No.
I'll tell you. I want to scratch your name on that one.
Say we end on the meeting?
Bob just needs to double sign that one before I signed up. I just gotta give you your blessing. Well,
Oh,
you didn't, yeah, you didn't.
What's that one for? Oh, you got two.
Yeah, but he didn't. Bob,
yeah, you want
I always make. I like when Bob.
Oh,
Make sure I know we reviewed it first before I sign it.
All the rest are done.
Done.
I think those are all done.
Yeah, those are all done.
Yeah, it's just that one.
Anything else? I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting at
17.
8:17.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.